Hi, and welcome to Sweet Sycamore Devotions. My name is Nicole, and we are starting Women of Genesis today. And we are starting with none other than Eve. My son goes to a Christian kindergarten, and so this past August when he started school, he came home from school that first week of school, and he immediately took all the apples in the fruit bowl and started throwing them directly into the trash. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, Mom, these are poisonous. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, God told Eve, don't eat the apples or you're going to die. And so we had to stop and we had to talk about this. And we're like, son, we don't even know if it was an apple. Like, it was just a fruit. And by the way, the apple wasn't Eve's problem. Even the tree wasn't Eve's problem. No, Eve's problem was really within. You see, God had told Adam prior to Eve's existence, do not eat from the tree of good and evil. Here stands Eve, but she is not alone as she stands at this tree of good and evil in Genesis 3. Now, when we look at verse 6, after she takes a bite of an apple, it says, and then she gave some to Adam who was with her. Like, who was with her? Eve, who takes 100% of the blame sometimes for the fall. Can we just say, I believe this was very much 50-50 because there stood Adam right next to her, which, by the way, he was the one that actually heard God say, don't eat from this tree, and had told Eve about God's command. So here they both stand. And here we have a problem. That's not with the tree, that's not with the fruit, but really has to do with within. In this massive garden, in this beautiful area, here they stand at the one place they're not supposed to be standing at. They could have walked anywhere, but they walked straight to this. Why? Because they were questioning the restraint of God. You see, God did not create the tree because he was really going to kill them if they ate it. No, God created the tree because he needed them to understand about obedience, that they were not on the same playing field as God, that here was God and here was man. And then when God said, don't do something, you don't do it. And yet here they stand at the one thing God said, don't do. You see, there's this thought that maybe you and I even think today is God holding out on us? And the serpent plays right into the lie that they were already believing and pushes it and says, yes, the Lord is holding out on you. You see, I have two boys, and when they were toddlers, if I said, don't touch that, they immediately wanted to touch that. And it drove me crazy. They were constantly testing the boundaries, the restraints that I was putting on their life because I was trying to keep hardship away from them. And to be honest, even now, I feel like toddler Nikki is still within me because when somebody tells me no, I immediately get defiant. And I'm like, why are you telling me no? What do you mean I can't do that? But when God tells me no, I have learned over the years that perhaps there's something he is keeping from me that I don't want to know about what it's like on the other side. That is being kept from me out of love, not out of hoarding something good from me. You see, the devil's lie that he told Adam and Eve, that he still tells us today, is that sin is good and God is bad. And if he can convince us of those two things, then restraints are thrown out the window. Then we become God of our own lives and we try to put ourselves on the same playing field as God, just as he convinced Adam and Eve on that day. And so as we look at this idea of Eve and where things went wrong, could it be that she didn't receive the master's restraint? See, one thing I know is that horses that give in to the bridle, they leave the pen. But a horse who fights the master's restraint chooses the cage. He chooses the pen. And being able to be okay with restraint that God is put on my life, I can't do this, or I can't say that, or I can't go there, can be an actually huge blessing in disguise as I get to walk with my Father in the garden, just like Adam and Eve when all of that stopped, when sin truly came into the world in that moment. So our challenge together, both for you and for I, is there anywhere in our lives where we are questioning, is God holding out on me? Is there anything in our lives where we are saying sin is good and God is bad? And being able to fight that and say, I'm okay with restraint. I'm okay with saying I can't do that because I believe that God is good. And I believe that he has the best intentions for me because I'm his kid and he loves me.